Hey, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. Let's get into this podversation/reality chat. All right, guys, I was going to get into the Carlos King and Kenya Moore interview that he did on his YouTube channel earlier this week. I listened to it. It's a good interview. I can't even front. It was a good interview. But I like Kenya. I know that there are a lot of people that really don't like her. I will say that I did agree with him when he said that he felt like she was one of the most misunderstood characters in reality TV. I don't watch a whole lot of different reality TV shows, so I don't know if she is the most misunderstood, but I do agree with him by saying that I believe she's misunderstood, because one of the things that I've said about her from not just the moment she got on the show, but just her time being on the show, was that I felt like A-list or Z-list, whatever category you want to put her in of being an actress, you can't take that away from her that she's an actress. And I did feel that a number of the things that she was doing on the show was acting. And I wouldn't say acting in the terms of being fake, but coming to do her job, coming to do what she was supposed to do, which was to shake things up, stir the pot a little bit, but never getting aggressive with people where it's like you're doing a Portia where you're grabbing her hair and dragging her across the floor of the reunion. And I'm not saying that that was funny, because I did not think that was funny. I mean, when I saw, I believe it was Carlos, pick her up, meaning Portia, after she did what she did, like she was a freaking victim, I knew then that this chick was going to be someone that they were going to baby and favor. But this isn't about Portia. But I just wanted to say that I did agree with him with that. But I'm not even going to do this conversation about the interview that he did with Kenya. I started to do that, but I said, you know what? No, it was a good interview. People can go and listen to it. I'm glad that she got to share her views and things like that. But some of the things that she said in the interview, and just the mere fact that Carlos did another interview with another housewife of Atlanta, but another housewife, because we know the viral interview that he did with Nene Leakes had been the talk of the internet streets, right? And still is to this point. But this is what I want to say about these interviews, because I'm not hating on Carlos. He's doing his thing. He obviously has the experience. That's his life. That's his world. And he loves what he does. And kudos. It's a blessing to be able to do the work that you love and enjoy doing what you do. Even the Bible says that it's like God desires that we enjoy doing the work that we do. It's like that's a blessing to be able to do that. It's never God's desire for people to do work that they hate. And he definitely was never for slavery. So let's just, put that there. But anyway, I feel, in my opinion, I believe that Carlos is extremely obnoxious. That's the word that I've been wanting to use for a while now. He's obnoxious. His voice is extremely irritating. I feel that he does play things up when he gets people like the Kenyas and the Nenes on there, and it's like, yes. And it's just, he's extremely extra, and it's just annoying, and it's obnoxious. Okay. But he's doing what he does, and so whatever. But being this is his second interview with someone either currently on or formerly was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta on his podcast, because we know that he had a lot of the OGs, if you will, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta when he had his nightcap with Carlos King on TV, which I guess was only for a part of a season. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that's coming back. Don't know if it was his decision to pause it, stop it, or the networks, or maybe Bravo and Andy Cohen sent a cease and desist saying stop, copy, and watch What Happens Live. But anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I just feel like laughing early this morning because I'm grateful. I'm just grateful to be here, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing. So that's why I'm not faulting him for doing what he enjoys. But this is just a hobby for me. This is not my bread and butter. Grateful for that. This is just something I enjoy doing, and it's like therapy for me. But I want to get your thoughts on this, and you let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because the interview that he did with Nene Leakes, and now this interview that he did with Kenya, it's getting more views than his shows are getting on the OWN network. And that's sad. And for him to talk about having the number one show on the OWN network, I honestly haven't heard him say that line in a while. We know, for those of us who do know, Melody Cherie Rogers, now a co-owner of a network, has just recently announced that, and it's possible that she will not be returning to Love and Marriage Huntsville when it's time to start filming the next season, if they even get another one. And my opinion is she's not coming back. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but I'm just sharing my opinion. You can let me know yours in the comment section respectfully. But I don't see her coming back to that, because to be filming with someone who is extremely narcissistic, who is dangerous, like her ex-husband, I mean, she really got out of a dangerous situation. I do believe that the man is a psychopath, in my personal opinion. No, I'm not a therapist. No, I'm not a psychologist. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm sharing my opinion. I believe he is a psychopath. Definitely. And for someone that is consistently copying everything that his ex-wife is doing because he is not living the life that he used to live, that she gave him, which is sad for a woman to give what's supposed to be a man a career and a lifestyle. She did that. He was living off of her. He was riding her coattails. And for him to try to destroy this woman, I would not be able to be around him at all, let alone work with him. I can't imagine that check at OWN is that good. I don't believe that it is. We know Monique Samuels didn't come back, and I believe that she didn't come back for a number of different reasons. I do believe that money was a major factor in it, but I also believe that coupling that with the fact that her marriage was crumbling and she didn't want to showcase that anymore on television was the reasons behind her decision to not come back. But if the money was right, she would have done it, because in my personal opinion, all she cares about is money. But anyway, I don't see Melody coming back. And I haven't heard Carlos say the line in a while that he has the number one show on the OWN network, because at one point in time, you couldn't go without hearing him speak without those words coming out of his mouth, right? He hasn't said it in a while, so he's had to take that brag back. But yeah, these interviews have been garnering more views than his own shows have been on the OWN network, and that's extremely sad. I don't know how the people who are casting on Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Detroit, even Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I don't care for any of them except for Melody, to be honest with you. Not that I hate anybody on, well, I hate Hotel. I can't stand Marceau or his brother, but they're not people in my opinion. So, but the other ones I'm just really indifferent towards. I just feel that he's not putting that energy that he really needs to put into his own stuff, because I actually did like the last season of Love and Marriage DC. I definitely liked it better than the first season when Monique and her husband were on there. But when was the last time that show was on? I think it was the beginning of this year, earlier this year. And I didn't even know that that episode, the last one that came on, was the season finale. I'm not even going to call it a mid-season finale, because like it's mid-August and I don't know when that show is coming back. And it really left on a cliffhanger, which was around Christmas time when that was filmed. And so I heard that recently Ashley Silva from Love and Marriage DC, she did some posts. I don't know if it was on Instagram or on Twitter, but she was basically sounding like she was complaining and pissed off about production of the show and saying something along the lines of, no wonder it's taking so long for editing because they're trying to paint me as the villain of the show. Well, honestly, Ashley, I don't dislike her. I actually like her. I just don't like some of the interactions that she has displayed on the show. And I do feel that she has not taken true accountability for stuff that she may have said to hurt someone's feeling or break someone's trust, like Joy, who was the new person on the show with her, now we know, husband, because they were saying that they were engaged, but she let the cat out of the bag that they were actually already married, and she did it to be spiteful. She did it because she was upset about something, and to be honest with you, at this point in time, I don't even really remember what it was about because it had aired so long ago. At this point in time, I don't really remember. I would have to rewatch the episodes to remind myself of what happened. But I feel that Ashley's probably feeling neglected by Carlos. I feel that that post that she recently did, even though I guess she feels like I can't directly call out Carlos, so I will say production, quote unquote, but I'm really pissed because I feel like Carlos is paying more attention to the Real Housewives than he's paying attention to the current people who are actually working for him. But Carlos is about his money. And those views are making him more money. So he can add more shoes to that clofus that he has. So I'm really wondering how they really, really are feeling. Most of them, if not all of them. Love and Marriage Detroit. I don't know who's really watching that. I don't know what the views are like on it. I'm not watching it. And if I've seen anything, it's just kind of been in passing, not when the show actually aired. So I know I'm not helping any of the ratings. I just wonder how they really are feeling about it, because when I heard Kenya's interview, she shared some things that really brought some things to light to me, because I've often heard Nene complain about not getting a spinoff, or there being very selective and showing favoritism when it comes to who they give spinoffs to. And I feel that that was directly aimed at Kandi and definitely Kim as well. Kim definitely didn't deserve it, but they gave it to her because they felt like she was good TV because of all the drama in her life for whatever reason. And they gave her about 6 or 8 seasons of the show. I didn't watch them. Kandi, yeah, I watched some of her spinoffs. She does the work. She goes in, she presents things. And I feel that Kandi, it may not be I'm not ever going to say she deserves it. Nobody deserves fame. Nobody deserves riches or wealth, but she works for it. And she said there are a number of things that they've pitched that they didn't sign off on. So it's not like she's just given everything that she wants. I don't feel that Nene has done that. I feel that she has just assumed that they were going to give her something, because Nene's not a worker. And I'm going to say something to prove that. This news that just recently came out about the owners of the building where she had her swag boutique in Georgia that she closed down are suing her for $22,000 in back rent. Her response to it is that Greg signed a lease. And that might be true, but it was her business. And did you have him sign a lease because you knew that he would at some point in time not be well and you could just shove it off on him? Or maybe he would still be here and you could say, well, look, that's on you. You take care of it. You handle it. When we know that that business that she started was off of her name and honestly her money, because she was the one that was on the show. She started that boutique when she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This isn't something that she got into after the fact. So I'm saying that to prove that she just does not like to really work, like really, really hustle and work. She wants things that are literally given to her. The show on, what was it? The New Normal. I feel that was given to her. Her having the opportunity to be on Glee, that was given to her. That is not something that she really worked and hustled for. So she doesn't really work like that. But, you know, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent when it comes to that. But I'm saying that to say in this interview that Kenya did with Carlos, she mentioned some things that I never really thought about with her. She said, she never got the opportunity to have a spinoff, and she thought that that would have been a great thing. And to be honest with you, thinking about it, I'm not saying that it would have been an extremely entertaining or so much like it's pulling you in drama, but why not? She was a woman of a certain age. She was having a baby. Why not have her have like a 4 or 6 episode spinoff? They've done it for Portia a couple of times. And she also mentioned about sitting next to Andy at the reunions. She's never fussed about it to our knowledge, but she talked about it in this interview. And I said, you know what? That actually does make a lot of sense. Because she talked about Nene not really having a storyline most of the time, which, to be honest with you, if you think about it, it is true. It really is true. She talked about Nene sitting over there with her face balled up and mad and showing off her shoes. Honestly, did she lie? She didn't. But I'm not saying that Kenya is looking to leave the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I do feel that she doesn't feel like she's appreciated. And I do feel that Carlos would love the opportunity to come back to Bravo. So he used this as an opportunity to throw those jabs at Bravo via Kenya while he sat there and agreed with her. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, the views on his shows are definitely in the toilet. The views on his interviews with these Real Housewives are through the roof, and he milks the hell out of them because he will do the interview, he'll have the cliffhanger, he'll have the second part, he will speak about it, he will do a separate I won't say a separate interview, but he'll do a separate video talking about the interview, my response to the Nene Leakes interview, my second response to the Nene Leakes interview. Like, he's really, really, really milking those views, right, off of those interviews. I haven't watched any of his responses. It's just like, okay, girl, we see what you're doing. We see it. But I wonder if the cast of his shows sees what he's doing. I'm not saying that you can't have multiple things going on, but you can't really have multiple things going on and be great at all of them. And that's one of the reasons why he can't tout that moniker anymore of having the number one show on the OWN network. I don't know what the number one show on the OWN network is at this point in time, but that's not even a hard feat to have because it's not like it's Bravo. You know, we already know that a lot of the shows on the OWN network don't really get much views. Nobody's really watching reruns of the Oprah Winfrey Show or Super Soul Sunday or reruns of Dr. Phil or Dateline. I mean, come on now. Come on. I really like Bell Collective. I do like that show. But I don't know. I can't understand what the end game is when it comes to what he's doing, or does he even have an end game? Or is this just a get back at Bravo because he's still pissed about getting let go? I don't know. So I just wanted to talk about that, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about his views on these Real Housewives interviews that he's done on his podcast versus the views on his shows? What do you feel about him not claiming the number one show on the OWN network anymore when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville? Let me know your thoughts about all of these things in the comment section below. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.